As a graduate of this program, if you don't get kicked out of at least 2 meetings a month, I'm serious. You're not teaching AA the way it was written. If you don't ruffle feathers in today's rooms, you're sugarcoating it. You're not teaching it the way it was written. You're hiding the spirituality behind the program. You're hiding what the program's really about. Okay? We went over the 3 different powers. We answered the questions to the word powerless in step 1. Powerless over alcohol, powerless over our addiction. It doesn't matter, because if you go back to the reading we did last week, it clearly states, in the way it's written in the original manuscript, that it's not about the substance, it's about the ism. Joy is liquor, comma. Drinking was the great obsession. It clearly states it's the ism that we're working on. So don't get tied up on drugs, alcohol, cocaine, and bring it into the other A's. Gambling, sex, pornography, bring it into the other A's. Okay. They all belong there. It's the ism that we're working on. All right, so we answered the questions that Powerless asked over, and then we realized we were talking about the ism. So do me a favor, take the comma out and put the dash back in. I'm not picking on NA, so don't sit there and get all upset and mad at me. I'll tell you right up front, okay? I think both fellowships suck equally. I'm serious. Because they failed to do what today's reading said. And that's teach the spirituality of this program. Without it, you don't have a program. It's what AA was based on, which is the grandfather of the program, where all the rest of the programs came from. All right, the dash. You run that dash in step 2, number 3, and your study guide says don't pass anything up. This is one of the things that it's talking about, is that dash. Everybody just wants to pass it by, blow it over. You've got sponsors in the rooms that'll tell you, hey man, you showed up, and you know, you did step 1. No, you didn't. All you did is show up for a meeting and give free coffee. That's it. All of the work in step 1 is this dash. This is all of the work you are going to do in step 1. All right? It's probably one of the hardest things you're going to do in the program, is the dash. What is this dash? Where did it come from? Dash in step 1 is the same type of dash that you would find on a tombstone. What do you see on a tombstone? You see the person's name, date they were born, date they died. What's between them? What is that? There you go. The dash on the tombstone is not just a number of years from one date to the next. The dash on the tombstone is your life. It's your actions. It's what people know you by. It's what gives you your character. It's you. It's everything you did, said, felt, smelled, from the day you were born to the day you died. Step 1 is the same thing. It is a definable timeline. However, unlike the dash in the tombstone, it does not define you. The dash in step 1 is the only thing in this program that gives your addiction a different identity other than yours. It's the only thing in this program that enables you to give a different identity to your addiction. See, you suffer from a disease that speaks to you in your own voice. You suffer from the only disease known to mankind that tells you you don't have it. How many have been there? I got one. I stop anytime I want to. It speaks to you in your own voice. That's a problem. What you do in your life matters. What you do in your life defines you. It's what gives you your character. The dash in step one is what gives life, gives identity to your addiction. I said you suffer from a disease that speaks to you in your own voice. That's dangerous. Why?
You don't know the difference.
You don't know who.
Has anybody in this room ever lied? No, really, if you've ever lied, raise your hand. Okay, if your hand's not up, you're a liar. Tonight, you raise your hand.
Honest.
When you lie, do you know that you lied?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
You may carry that lie to the grave, but you still know that it's what? A lie. Here's the problem with your disease, your addiction. Lying to you and speaking in your voice. Your addiction says something to you. Let's just pick one. You know what? We're going to go out tonight with the guys, and we're only going to have one drink. Just one. And then we're going to switch over to Club Soda at 9. We'll play some pool, shoot some darts, have a great time. In fact, we're going to be designated drivers. So everybody comes over your house, they all pile up in your car, you all go out. You get that first drink, and what happens?
You wake up the next day.
After one comes 5 more, and then a few more after that. Your addiction told you were going to go out and you were going to have one. And it wound up being a lot more than one. In fact, you didn't realize what happened until you woke up the next morning over at Greenville County Detention Center in Drunk Town. You see, because after one it was 5 more, and then it was a couple lines, and then it was some more, and then it was this, then it was that. You passed out in the bathroom. They couldn't even wake you up. Come closing time, they had to call cops and an ambulance to cart your ass away. You woke up in GCDC. All right? What happened? What happened? Your addiction said to you, you were going out for one. You thought it sounded like a great idea. You thought you came up with the idea because your brain heard it in your voice. You didn't know it was a lie because you didn't say it.
Who's talking?
But your brain thought you said it. So you acted on it. And when you acted on it, exactly the opposite of what was supposed to happen, happened. Okay? We're going to go out with the guys tonight. We're just going to have one. We're going to be designated driver. I can see you on the way to the bar. You're cruising. You're like, man, this is going to be great. I'm going to drive all the boys home afterward. And they're going to be so happy with me. They're going to make me pancakes in the morning.
I never got no pancakes.
Meanwhile, what happened is they all had to catch rides, call Ubers. They had to get home somehow. Because they couldn't even find you. Because, see, you listened to that voice that sounded like yours. You did what it said. And instead of this happening with the pancakes, just the opposite happened. When Satan speaks to you in your own voice, when your addiction speaks to you in your voice, your brain does not know that it's not you. This is why we do the work in the dash. Okay? Now, the dash on the tombstone has a exact starting point, does it not? When is it?
When your disease starts affecting you negatively.
Dash on the tombstone.
Birthday. You're born.
The minute you're born. Not even the day. The minute, the second you're born. That's when your dash starts. Okay? There's a starting point to the dash in step one also.
When your disease starts affecting you negatively.
There you go. How many people in here ever got high or got drunk? Just a couple? All right, cool. How many people in here got high or got drunk when they wanted to? Cool. How many people in here got high or got drunk when they had the money to buy it? Awesome. Now, I gotta apologize because I know this is just for really sick people, and none of you are like that. I understand this. But I gotta ask you. Is there anybody in here who ever got high or got drunk when they didn't want to? Hey Craig, can you go secure my truck? There's some sick people. Yeah, is there anybody here who ever got high or got drunk when they didn't even have the money to buy it? Listen to me. That is the point that I want you to go back to in your addiction. I want you to go back to that point in your addiction where your drug of choice started doing you more than you were doing it.
Very well.
That's where your dash starts. Now here's the work you're going to do in your dash. From that point forward, you're going to write down every lie that your addiction told you. Each lie followed by the truth of what happened when you listened to the lie. Now, if you come up and your dash is 1 or 2 pages long, I'm going to assume that you've only been using for about a month. And I know that don't fit anybody in this room. Don't shortchange yourself. Man, that's a lot of work. Yeah. It's a simple program. Nobody ever said it was easy. Okay?
Joe, after you work through the 12 steps your first time and all that, and we go through these classes, do you suggest to go back and redo your dash if it doesn't seem like there was enough?
Of course.
You shouldn't have to because you're going to be adding to it the whole time you're in the program, the whole time you're working the steps. You're going to come up with something that you remembered that you didn't write down, and you're going to write it out and you're going to put it with the rest of the paper. Okay? It's all going to be in there. All right? So I want you to write out in your dash every lie your addiction told you. Well, there's a good question. How do I know it was a lie that my addiction told me? Because it met with a negative consequence. What do I mean? You thought you said this, you were going to do this. And the result of this was going to be this. When in fact you did this, and the result was really this. Just the opposite of what you thought was going to happen. That's how you know it was a lie from your addiction, and not something that you said or thought. Put it all down on paper. Every lie, each lie followed by the truth of what happened when you listened to the lie.